Here at Paddy Power, we're the home of the Money Back Special, with some incredible offers every single week. Check out the website or app today. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Welcome along to the GAA Postcast in association with Paddy Power. Yes, we're back. There was you thinking we were finished for the year, but Dean Rock enjoyed listening to Paddy O'Rourke and Damien Fitzgerald so much over the last few months that he decided to drag that last gasp free wide just so he could have one last final listen for old time's sake. Yes, it's the All-Ireland Football Final Replay Postcast with me, David Jennings, and our resident football expert Paddy O'Rourke and Damien Fitzgerald from our sponsors Paddy Power. Before we tell everybody what's going to happen on Saturday night, we have our 5 quickfire questions for our 2 panellists, and the first 5 are for you, Paddy O'Rourke. Number 1, what surprised you most about the drawn encounter between Dublin and Kerry?
I suppose that the fact that Dublin had to rescue their All-Ireland crown, probably going into the last couple of minutes, been a point down, that was something that we haven't seen before, and it was Kerry who were kind of in the driving seat. That was the number 1 thing.
Okay, lovely stuff. Number 2, give David Goff a mark out of 10 for his performance. So Joe Brawley has obviously lost his place on the Sunday game team for the replay, possibly because of his remarks about David Goff. But what would you rank him out of 10?
I'd say you'd probably have to give him maybe 8. Nobody's perfect, so he wouldn't get 10 out of 10. But I think leaving the game the last day, it wouldn't have been his fault that either team didn't bring home the trophy. I thought he did a very good game.
Okay, rock solid 8 for David Goff. Number 3, who is your footballer of the year now after seeing the drawn match? And is Jack McCaffrey not a little bit too big at 3-1?
I think Jack McCaffrey's probably going to jump into people's tier of being the player of the year. But I'd say whoever brings home the trophy at the weekend, if Kerry are to win, I'd say David Moore will probably have a big say in it, and he'll probably jump into contention as well. So it all depends on what team comes out on top. But if Dublin are to win and Jack McCaffrey puts down another solid game, I'd say he could be player of the year.
It's funny, I actually clicked into this market straight after the final, and I kind of said, you get kind of caught up in the emotion of the game, and I said Jack McCaffrey's an absolute certainty to player of the year. If he's anything over even money, I'm going to get stuck in. And then he was 3-1, and then I kind of started to have doubts because he was so big. It's like when a horse is a bigger price and you think it's chubby. I was like, yeah, but Cluxton saved the penalty, he could retire. Then you're going, Conor Callum was brilliant obviously against Mayo. So I started to have real doubts then, but my initial reaction straight away after the game was that 3-1 was massive. So I agree with you, Paddy O'Rourke. And question number 4, if you were Jim Gavin, if you were the Dublin manager going into Saturday, what would your starting 1 to 15 be? Go for it. Number 1.
Cluxton will be there. I think you'll have Davy Byrne. You'll start Michael Fitzsimons again. I think Johnny Cooper they'll go with Johnny Cooper again at cornerback. He seems to be like Jim's golden boy since Jim started taking over in 2013 or so. Wing backs, then you're probably going to see Owen Merchant coming in for John Small. I think he's got a bit of a hand injury. He probably won't start. James McCarthy at centre back, and then Jack McCaffrey at wing back. Midfield will be the same. Macaulay will partner Fenton. Up front, then I don't see much change across the half forward line. And I think inside will be the same again. I think the only change would be a forced change, and I think it'll be Merchant will come in instead of John Small.
Excellent. And your 5th and final question: if you were Kerry manager, so in an unusual situation, you're the manager of both the Dublin and the Kerry team on Saturday. If you were Kerry manager, what would your starting team be for the replay?
I don't see much change here. I think maybe Gavin Crowley might miss out. I think he just looked a little bit nervy throughout the game and kind of was overfaced having to mark Jack McCaffrey. So I think maybe Killian Spillane might come in up in corner forward. He was brilliant ball winner in Navan when I seen Kerry and Meath play. So he made a big impact when he came on. I think maybe he might have earned himself the right to start. But again, I don't see much changes. Maybe a forced change there. And I know it might be a bit harsh. Kerry captain not starting, but it's an Ireland final day, so they have to go for broke.
Gavin White, you mean, obviously.
Gavin White.
Okay, excellent. Okay, Damien Fitzgerald, time to bring you into the action. You're the first of your 5 quick-fire questions is, what was the biggest bet placed with Paddy Power ahead of the drawn encounter?
I think the biggest single bet we took was 18 grand on Dublin at 2-9. Most of our bigger bets were on Kerry though, and Kerry were the big loser for us. We took a lot of 3, 4, 5 grand bets on Kerry, and Kerry were an absolutely massive loser for us. So we're glad that we get another chance on Saturday now, and that we weren't paying out on Kerry after the first day.
So the 18 grand at 2-9, was that to lift the trophy or to win in 70 minutes?
It was to win in 70 minutes.
And you're still giving out. My God. Okay, question number 2. What was Paddy Power's biggest payout on the drawn match?
The biggest payout was the draw. I know kind of people might possibly think that the draw was a good result for us. It wasn't really. Like, it was a poor enough result. It was about a 500 grand payout. I suppose at the price of 14-1.
500 grand?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's the biggest shock I get today. I wasn't expecting that at all. That's a lot of tenors and 20s racking up.
Yeah, it's a lot of it all kind of adds up with smaller bets on the draw at 14-1 at a prices like that. It just, the liability can go very high. Our biggest individual payout on the draw, I think, was someone had a grand at 14s, and so it took 15k off us. So that, I think that was our biggest individual payout on the match.
Somebody had a grand on the draw.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Now, I know he got paid, but whoa. That is, I don't think in the long run that philosophy is going to pay off. Okay, I can't believe that. I cannot believe Paddy Power paid out £500,000 because it was a draw. Okay, question number 4, which obviously is going to be a different answer to the one I was expecting. What was the difference in monetary terms between Dean Rock getting and missing that final free for Paddy Power? So if Dean Rock got it and Dublin won by a point, Dean Rock missed, it was a draw. What was the difference in money?
Would have been about 400 grand, I'd say. Like, Dean Rock, Dublin winning by a point would have been the perfect result for us, really. In games like this, where you kind of have a big price outsider, you're obviously going to lay the outsider, and you kind of lay the favourite on the handicap. So in any game like this, we want the favourite to win, really, and not to beat the handicap. So if Dean Rock had scored that and Dublin won by 1, it would have been a kind of a perfect result for us.
That is, I'm sure listeners are listening in there thinking, Paddy Power would have been, all the people working in Paddy Power for the drawn match would have been absolutely delighted when he missed that free. But you're saying it was a complete opposite. You were disgusted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, hard to believe. And your 5th and final question is, what is your worst loser at the moment in the All-Star markets?
Our worst loser in the All-Stars, I think Paddy mentioned this the last time he was on. Paddy Durkin is our worst loser. We put him up at too big a price after the semi-final. In fairness, we put him up at 11-4, and he's been backed all the way into 1-3. So it looks like he's going to get one. It looks like we'll be paying out on that one. I think we just got the price wrong in the aftermath of the All-Ireland semi-final.
That's all right, Demi. They're allowed to make mistakes. That's all right. Okie doke. So it's time to get stuck in to the All-Ireland football final replay. It's 6 o'clock on Saturday evening. It's live on RTE and Sky Sports. And once again, obviously, it is Dublin v Kerry. Damien Fitzgerald, can we get some prices and handicaps? And the betting is a little bit closer than the last time.
It is, yeah. Dublin are 3-10, 10-1 to draw, and 10-3 Kerry. Handicap's a 4-point handicap. Dublin -4, 10-11, 10-1 to handicap draw, and Kerry +4 is evens.
Well, Paddy O'Rourke, we have to start with you. You got the drawn match pretty much spot on. You predicted a lot of the right outcomes. What type of game shall we expect this time around?
I think it'll be evenly matched again. I think Kerry will have taken a good bit of confidence out of running Dublin so close and having them under such pressure for the second half. Obviously, they were up a man for 35-40 minutes of that game, but I can see it being even again as well. I just don't see Dublin running away with it either. At the same time, if you look back through all the last number of All-Ireland finals, there hasn't been a huge winning margin in any of them. I do think maybe Kerry +4 there on the handicap market is a runner for me anyway, personally. And although saying that just before half-time, Kerry, after missing 2 goal chances and kicking a number of wides in the first half, they had 13 attacks in the first 20 minutes. They got away 12 shots and only scored 5 points, missed the penalty. They looked quite vulnerable until Johnny Cooper got sent off, but the good thing is that they're well able to create scoring chances, but now whether they'll be able to take them this time be the other side of it.
And Paddy, just on the Dublin front, like a lot of us were kind of hoping that Kerry would put up a big challenge, and we were kind of saying maybe the handicap was too big and we thought, the total points mark was a little bit too big. But I think we were kind of hoping and guessing rather than speaking from like past experiences and thinking that Dublin wouldn't be good enough. Is this air invincibility now about Dublin? Is it just gone? Are they just not vastly superior to every other team anymore? Like people are talking about domination and how it's become a joke and they're hammering every team. Can we take it now that Dublin are not that far ahead of the pack?
I don't think they are. I think that what you see with Dublin is they know how good they are. They back themselves to put up big scores. They back themselves to beat any team that play. But on the flip side of that, they cough up chances and they cough up scoring chances to other teams. And when you have a forward line like Kerry, who should, and hopefully on Saturday will take more of the chances that are presented to them, someday they're going to find a team that will run them so close, like the last game. And maybe they might leave themselves with too much to do in the second half. If Kerry had taken all the chances that were presented to them in the first half, it could have been 6 or 7 points up at half time. They found themselves going in. They were down by 3 or 4 points at half time just purely because they kicked so many wides and missed their goal chances. But, you'll always get chances against Dublin. They will let you create chances.
Damien, when you all sat down in Power Tower to talk about the replay and the pricing system for all the markets and stuff, was there a different vibe in the meeting where lads who had previously said that Dublin were way ahead, the handicap should be 7, it should be 8, was there a different kind of vibe in the meeting altogether?
Yeah, we were a lot closer together on this one. I think there was a bit less debate. I think the kind of 3 to 10 and the 4-point line looks pretty solid to us, and judging by the money so far, I think the price will stay around there. I can't see much change on the price. Yeah, I think kind of obviously it seeing the game play out obviously gives you a lot better handle on what's going to happen. We probably hadn't seen Dublin being actually challenged in a couple of years before the first game, so it obviously gives you a lot better idea of what the teams are like and how they match up. So yeah, we should probably be a bit more confident in it this time around.
And listening to all the different previews and radio stations and talking to people, it seems now everybody seems to think that it's simple, that Kerry have better forwards than Dublin. They're not saying Kerry will win the match, but a lot of people are saying when you factor in Sean O'Shea, David Clifford, Stephen O'Brien and Paul Geaney, they are 4 forwards that would be guaranteed their place on the Dublin team. Damien, are people premature in saying that?
No, I don't know are they better than Dublin, but they certainly match up well with Dublin. I think those names you've mentioned, when you mentioned those names, in fairness, you could say Clifford, Geaney and O'Brien, probably the 3 of them didn't perform as well as they would have liked in the first day, so there is a lot of room for improvement on the Kerry side. Obviously the two great free takers on either side, Sean O'Shea and Dean Rock, so that's a big advantage. I think Clifford is kind of the X factor though. I think he just, on top form, he's just a step ahead of everyone. You can see he wasn't great the last day, but just the sense of danger every time he got the ball for the Dublin backs, and obviously Johnny Cooper got booked twice and he got him sent off. I think just he is the X factor, and if Kerry can really get him into the game, I think he has the ability to kind of really be the one that wins the game for them. So I think Kerry will have to look to get him in the game a bit more this time around. I think particularly in the second half, the first day, they just weren't able to give him enough ball, which if you're someone that dangerous up there, you need to get him the ball.
Yeah, no, I certainly agree with that. I thought on the Geaney front, I tipped him in the Racing Post in a couple of bets. So you can imagine what watching the first half was like for me. First of all, I tipped him to score over 2.5 points, right? And he gets a ball cleared off the line by James McCarthy. Then he gets a penalty and he misses both. So I tipped him to score over 2.5 points. I tipped him to score more than Paul Mannion, which if he had got either of those chances, he would have done. And I tipped him to get a man in the match nomination. Now, obviously, I was hugely frustrated by Paul Geaney because he missed so much, and obviously my bets went down to Swanee because of it. But what I will say was, he contributed so much from open play. He got himself into the game. He turned creator rather than finisher. And for an awful lot of those Kerry scores, from probably the 15th minute to the 60th minute, he was involved in almost every one of them. I thought from open play, if you take out the end product from Paul Geaney, I actually thought he played pretty well, Damien. Did you think so, no?
I did actually. Someone mentioned exactly that to me yesterday. I didn't really notice it as much, I suppose, but yeah, I think if you go back and look at it, that's probably is true. And he was kind of always showing for the ball, and he got on a lot of ball. Obviously, Kerry got a lot of their points and kind of frees as well, and he did win some of them. So he did. I think he did have a good game, but obviously, I think if Kerry are going to win the All Ireland, you are going to need him to pop in with a few scores as well as playing well.
Now, the only thing I will say, it's like when you back a horse in a race, like you're only watching your own horse in the race. So because I had selected him in quite a few recommended bets and race posts, I was watching him very closely. So maybe I'm overemphasizing how good he was, but I did think he played better than some of the ratings in the newspapers on the Monday. Paddy O'Rourke, you are our golden boy when it comes to goal scorer markets. Who are you looking at this Saturday?
I think again the man you're after mentioning. I think Paul Geaney. I think he always seems to create a goal chance, one in every game, but he can be quite frustrating to follow because he doesn't always take them when they pop up. But I think I wouldn't be shying away from putting him in there anytime goal scorer there. I think he's probably in around. I think about. Is he 5-2 or is he 13-5 or in around that kind of market there for any time goal scorer? He probably 13-5 any time, and he's 15-2 for the first goal. You know, like he should have had 2 goals by the time Jack McCaffrey scored his wonder strike. So yeah, look, I wouldn't be shying away from putting him in again anytime. He's definitely going to be the closest Kerry forward to the goals nearly at all times.
And man of the match, Paddy, who would your selection be there?
For man of the match, I'm going to go for, I think on the man of the match front, I'm going to go for David Moore. And I think if Kerry are going to lift Sam at the weekend, I think David Moore is going to have another exceptional game. And I think the form he's in at the moment, I wouldn't bet against it. So I'm going to pop him in there as my choice for man of the match.
Okay, lovely stuff. So David Moore is a 14-1 shot with Paddy Power for man of the match, and Paddy's anytime goal scorer is Paul Geaney. Damien Fitzgerald, your selections for first goal scorer and man of the match?
I'm going to give you the same selection for both. Dean Rock is 13-2 first goal and 9-1 man of the match.
Brilliant lad. I have to say, I know he missed the final free, but his overall contribution was exceptional, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was the best game I've seen him have in a long time. I think the thing is as well, the way Kerry are setting up, like obviously Tom O'Sullivan is taking Conor Callaghan and Morley is taking Mannion, and they do seem to be able to cut down on the two of them. And I think Dean Rock seems to be getting a bit more of the space. So that's why I think he can have another big game at the weekend. Also, like I think in a game which I would expect to be very tight, frees are going to be crucial. Kerry gave away a lot of frees the last day, and like he is a great free taker. I know he missed one at the end the last day, but that was a very, very tough free. So I think Dean Rock can really have a big game again, and if it's close coming towards the end, he might just make up for missing that free and kind of score one to win it as he has done before.
Now, obviously, Dean is terrific from place balls, but I thought the commentary, right, Ger Canning, okay, if you are going to make a statement and make a big statement, it has to be right, I think. So Dean Rock is setting up to a free in the first half, and he kicks the free anyway, and just as he's about to come to it, Ger Canning says, Dean Rock, he's been flawless from place ball so far this afternoon, and he obviously scored it. But he had missed his previous free. So, Ger Canning is going, he's been flawless, which means he hasn't missed any. He dragged his previous free, which was a tough one from the wrong side, wide, and he says he's been flawless. I don't know. I think if you're making statements like that, you have to be spot on. But in general, his free taking was exceptional. So before we come to our final bets on the game, lads, anything else in other markets that catch your eye? I have one that I'm going to plead with listeners to get involved in, but I'll keep that until after you two reveal yours. Any other bets on the coupon that you like, Paddy?
I spotted one here down near the bottom. It's Dublin v Kerry. Kerry subs over 1.5 points. It's at 11-10. I was just looking through. Yeah, I was just looking through some of the scoring markets. I think after the last day, Dean Rock and O'Shea, the two of them have been slashed. So there's no value in the two of them over 6.5. I think they're 4-7. Unless you're a heavy hitter and want to win at that price, it just wouldn't excite me now to be going in heavy on that. But David Clifford over 3.5 is 4-5. But I really like that one. Kerry subs over 1.5 points. I think at 11 to 10. Like all you need is for maybe Killian Spillane to be sprung from the bench, or maybe James O'Donoghue to be sprung from the bench and get a point each, and there's your bet up. So that's one for me. That's I just trawled through it and seen that down the bottom.
I wouldn't be hugely surprised if James O'Donoghue started the game. I know that'll sound ridiculous, but he's had another 2 weeks now, on top of the kind of 2.5 weeks he had that he was back in full training before the drawn match. I think he could have a big part to play. Now, I thought he might have a part to play in the draw match, but he didn't. But it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Damien, your other bets on the coupon that catch your eye?
A couple of them. I think Dean Rock to score more than Sean O'Shea at 4-5 is a decent bet. Obviously, they both had great games last day, getting 10 points. I just think at 4-5, I think the likelihood is Rock probably does score more. He's probably more of a goal threat than Sean O'Shea as well. So I think 4-5 is a fairly fair price on that. And the other one I'm just going to pick out in a kind of a different market is anytime yellow card, Sean O'Shea 92. He got a yellow card the last day, and he was probably getting involved in a few things as well. And I think he kind of does roam a bit, and I think at 92 it's a pretty decent price.
Yeah, and he can produce some of them kind of forwards tackles, can't he? Just really lazy, leaving the hand in. I can certainly see where you're coming from. Well, one bet that I put up on this show before, and I'm going to do it again because I think it's just laziness on Paddy Power's trading front. I really do. Okay, so let's go back to the drawn match. And now, Damien, I have to say, I think you're exceptional and all that, but I think this is just one market. When you've got 260 markets or whatever it is in the final, I think you're going to get one wrong. And I think you've got this one completely wrong, okay? And I'll just explain my theory. Okay, if you go back to the drawn match, in the first half of the drawn match, we spoke already, Paul Geaney had a chance cleared off the line by James McCarthy. Paul Geaney had a penalty saved by Stephen Cluxton. And Kerry kicked wide after wide. Clifford was so frustrating with simple wides. Dean Rock had a free that was wide. I think the highest scoring half market is completely wrong with Paddy Power. Okay, you come back for the first half to be the highest scoring market at 7-4. Now, the score at half time in the drawn match was 1-9 to 8 points. So there was 20 points scored in the first half. There was only 18 in the second half. So the first half beat the second half by 2 points, even though there were so many missed chances in the first half, okay? I think when you get to an All-Ireland final, and we've seen in the closing 10 to 15 minutes the last day as well, there's so much at stake. It's massive that if Dublin do get into a 2 or 3 point lead, or if Kerry are in a 2 point, if either team are winning by 2 points or more with 5 or 6 minutes to go, there is no way whatsoever they're going to be trying to extend that lead. They will be holding on to possession. We've seen it with Dublin. Even when they were a point behind almost, they were holding on to possession. They were trying to draw Kerry out. I think we had 1 point in the closing 15 minutes, I think, Damien, in the drawn match. 1 point, okay? I think it'll be a similar story on Sunday. I think if a team does get into a slight lead going into those final 10 minutes, it's so nervy. There's so much at stake. It's going to be a game of possession for whoever team is on front. And for that reason, 7-4 about the first half to be the highest scoring half, like it was in the draw match, like it was in quite a few games between Kerry and Dublin were involved in earlier on this season. I think the first half against Roscommon was higher scoring as well for Dublin. I think there's too much built into this price that Dublin blow away teams in the second half. They will not blow away Kerry in the second half. They will be holding on to their lead in the closing 10 minutes if they're there. Am I right, Damien?
You've made a very good argument there, DJ. Yes, I can see where you're coming from there. Obviously, the stats would show that like 90% of Dublin games, it is the second half that's the highest scoring. But 90%
of their games are not All-Ireland finals.
That is true. Yeah, I can see it's a good argument. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Definitely.
And as one of Paddy Power's head man, I want you to promise that price will be kept until throw-in.
Yeah, we'll keep it. We'll keep that till throw-in. Yeah.
Excellent. There you go, listeners. To sign off for the year, we're giving you a little present. 7-4 for the first half to be the highest scoring half in Dublin v Kerry. So all that's left to reveal now is our best bets of the All-Ireland Football Final replay.
This will not be beaten.
Now, I've spent about the last 20 minutes making my case, so my selection will be for the first half to be the highest scoring half at 7-4. Paddy O'Rourke?
I'm going to go with the Kerry subs over 1.5 points, and I'm going to pray that Killian Spillane and James O'Donoghue come off the bench.
Excellent. And to finish the treble, Damien Fitzgerald.
I'm going to go with Dean Rock to score more than Sean O'Shea at 4-5.
Excellent. So we can make that a treble. So it's Dean Rock to score more than Sean O'Shea. We've got first half to be the highest scoring half, and for Kerry subs to score over 1.5 points. And that treble will be enhanced on the Paddy Power site. Am I right, Damien?
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. So you'll see that on the homepage of the football on the Paddy Power website. So before we go, lads, I just want a scoreline from you, okay? So people will be listening. We've given all our bets for the match. I want your predicted final scoreline. Paddy O'Rourke.
Dublin 1-16, Kerry 1-18.
Whoa, you're going for a Kerry win?
I am, yeah.
Oh, whoa, okay. Okay, interesting, very interesting. 2-point Kerry win for Paddy O'Rourke. Damien Fitzgerald?
Dublin 2-16, Kerry 1-17.
Okay, and I think this will be high scoring. I think get on the over 40.5 total points mark, because I think this one is going to be high scoring. I'm going to go for Dublin 3-17, Kerry 2-18. Okay, so I think it's going to be very high scoring. So there you go, folks. That's all from us. My sincere thanks to Paddy O'Rourke, who's been a terrific football pundit over the last couple of months. To Damien Fitzgerald, who's been absolutely fantastic, from our sponsors, Paddy Power. To our producer, Rob Lee. I've been David Jennings of the Racing Post. Enjoy the replay.
Check out Paddy's Rewards Club. Simply place 5 bets of £10 or more across any sport in a week, and you'll get a free £10 bet then next week. T&Cs apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.